Good morning, student. Today I am going to teach you the part 3 portion of chapter 7. The name of the chapter is Control and Coordination. This chapter is quite important chapter in your class 10 biology syllabus. Already I have made 2 videos on this chapter, and with these 2 videos we came to know the nervous system, the parts of nervous system, the types of nervous system, and the response stimuli, the structure and function of the neuron, the reflex action and the reflex arc. In today's class we are going to discuss the structure about human brain. This slide, all those things are very important for your exam, and all those classes, all those videos are connected with each other. So if you don't follow the previous videos, then you cannot understand the today's class. So please go through the previous videos properly. So let's start the today's class. First thing is this is actually one thing I have written about the nervous system. So the body performs various activities. Okay. So before, already in the first video and the second videos, from these 2 videos we came to know that each and every system has their own function. Each and every system has their own activity. Okay. To control and coordinate the body function. So this body performs the various activities, and all these activities are actually controlled by the brain. Okay. And apart from the brain, there are another thing is there, the spinal cord. So with the brain and spinal cord, the central nervous system is formed. Okay. So how does that the brain control all the activities? This is very interesting thing, that the brain is controlling each and everything. We all know that. But how does the brain control all the activities? That are there any division in the brain which take over the control of different activities? Because only one brain control and coordinate our all activity, our all organ system. But how does the brain alone control all the activities, all the functions? So I hope all of you know that the brain has the different division. So each and every division has their own function. So do you know the which organ make up the nervous system? So normally the nervous system is divided into two things, the two actually types, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The CNS actually consists of the brain and spinal cord, while the PNS consists of the nerves that control the central nervous system to different parts of the body. So what is the meaning of this? That the CNS consists of two things, the brain and spinal cord, and PNS is made up of by the two things, the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. So what is the meaning of cranial nerves? The brain, the nerves which originates from the brain. And what is the meaning of the spinal nerves? The nerves which is originated from the spinal cord. Already I have discussed all those things in our first video of this chapter. So the central nervous system receives the information from all parts of the body and also sends the information to the effector muscle. So in this way, actually the nerve impulse travels to all over body, the act to all over body. The communication between the CNS and body parts is facilitated by the nerves of the PNS. So this is one actually the general information for your better understanding. The next thing is the important components of the nervous system. So this is very important thing, the important components of the nervous system, and this is very important for your 3 marks question. Okay. So normally nervous system is divided into 3 parts, the central nervous system, peripheral nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. This autonomic nervous system is not included in your syllabus. These two things are included in your syllabus, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. This central nervous system is divided into 2 parts. What is the meaning of this? That the central nervous system actually made up of by 2 organs, the brain and the spinal cord. And The peripheral nervous system is also made up of by two things, the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. So what is the meaning of the cranial nerve? The cranial nerve means the nerves which is originated from the brain. And what is the meaning of the spinal nerves? The nerves which is originated from the spinal cord. Next thing is the autonomic nervous system. This autonomic nervous system is also made up of by the sympathetic nerve and the parasympathetic nerves. Okay, so I am repeating again, this is actually the chart of the nervous system. This is actually the important components of the nervous system. So this nervous system actually divided into three types of system. The first one is the central nervous system, second one is the peripheral nervous system, and the third one is the autonomic nervous system. The central nervous system is divided into two parts. What is the meaning of this? That the central nervous system actually made up of by two organs, the brain and spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system is made up of by two things, the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves, and the autonomic nervous system is made up of by the two nerves, the sympathetic nerves and the parasympathetic nerves. Clear? So this is the basic things of the nervous system. The next thing is the brain, because we are going to discuss the structure and function of the brain. So this is the basic things of the central nervous system. The first one is the brain and the second one is the spinal cord. Okay, so with the brain and spinal cord, one central nervous system is formed. Okay, one brain and spinal cord, central nervous system is formed. So this is the brain structure and this is the spinal cord structure. Next thing is the human brain. So this is very important for your exam. So what is the basic things, or what is the meaning of the brain? That brain is actually the main coordinating center of the body. So already I have discussed in our previous video that brain and spinal cord actually the main center of processing all the activity in our body. Okay, so this is actually the main center. So this brain is actually the main coordinating center. What is the meaning of this? That the brain actually control and coordinate our all the activity which is present in our body, all the function, all the activity which is going on in our body, which is performing in our body continuously, spontaneously. So the brain is actually the main coordinating center of the body, and it's a part of the nervous system which controls and monitors every organs of the body. So I am repeating again, it's a part of the nervous system because central nervous system is made up of by two things, the brain and spinal cord, and in your syllabus the brain structure and function is included. Okay, so you have to study the brain structure. So it's actually the part of the nervous system which controls and monitors, coordinates every organs of the body. The weight of the brain of an adult is about 1400 grams. Okay. Next thing is the different regions of the brain. Next thing is the different regions of the brain. The brain is divisible into three main regions, the forebrain, midbrain and the hindbrain. Forebrain means actually the front portion of the brain, midbrain means the middle portion of the brain, and the hindbrain means the back portion of the brain. So just look at the picture properly. So this picture I think will help you a lot for your understanding. So this is the forebrain. So this part is the forebrain part, and this is the frontal portion of the brain. This is the front portion of the brain. Okay, this portion is the midbrain. This is the mid portion of the brain. Okay, so this portion is the mid portion of the brain, and this portion is the hindbrain. So just this is the hindbrain. This is the back portion of the brain. Clear? So this is the basic diagram. This is the basic structure of the human brain. Now you have to know each and every parts of the human brain. So normally the brain is the most complex organ in the human body. This brain is actually the most complex organ in the human body, and it's divided into three main parts: the forebrain, midbrain and the hindbrain. So what is the basic function of the brain? It's actually the center of performing all types of action. I am underlining this thing because this is important for your exam, that what is the actually basic function of the brain. It's actually the center of the performing all types of action, either voluntary or involuntary. What is the meaning of voluntary action? That actions are controlled by the organism. You can control the action, okay? That's called the voluntary action. And involuntary action means the which actions you cannot control, which actions are not controlled by the living organisms. That's called the involuntary in nature. So this is actually the center of performing any kinds of activity which is performing in our body, okay, in the living organism's body. So the voluntary and the involuntary, and normally it performs the function the same as that of a CPU system in computer. I think all of you know that what is the basic function of the CPU. The main meaning of the CPU is the central processing unit. So without CPU you cannot actually open the computer. The computer is not functioning without the CPU. So here the same thing is happened. Without brain we cannot do anything. Without brain we cannot do anything. Any kinds of system is also initiated by the brain, okay? So that's why the brain is the main complex part in our body. This is the diagram of the human brain. So this is the forebrain, the frontal portion. This is the midbrain, the mid portion, the green color structure, and this is the hindbrain, the pink color structure, the back portion of the brain. And this portion is most delicate part in our body. This portion is most important and delicate part in our body. So the orange color depicts the forebrain, the green color depicts the midbrain, and the pink color depicts the hindbrain. I think from this diagram you will easily understand the brain structure. Now I am coming to the description of the forebrain. Now I am coming to the point, the description of the forebrain, okay? So it's actually the front and the largest part of the brain. It is the front and the largest part of the brain, and it consists of the olfactory lobes, diencephalon and the cerebrum. Okay, I am repeating again. So this forebrain actually the front and the largest part of the brain. Just look at the structure. This orange color, this whole orange color structure is consist of the forebrain. So this is the most important part of the brain, the frontal portion of the brain, and this is the largest part of the brain. Okay, this whole orange color is the forebrain, and this forebrain actually consists of olfactory lobes, diencephalon and the cerebrum. Okay, so what is the basic function of the forebrain? First thing is actually that it's the main thinking part of the brain. So we can think whatever we want by the forebrain, through the forebrain. Okay, so if forebrain is not functioning properly, then we cannot think properly. So this is the main thinking part of the brain. Second thing, it has separate area for receiving sensory impulses. Okay, next thing, it also transmits the motor impulse to the muscles to show response. Next thing, it has center for hearing, hunger, smell, sight, intelligence, memory, learning, vision, mood and the different kinds of the emotions. And the last one, hypothalamus and pituitary glands secrete variety of hormones. This hypothalamus and pituitary is also present in this forebrain area, and this is one of the most important endocrine gland which is secreted different kinds of the hormone. Okay, so this is the basic functions of the forebrain. So during the time of your exam, just remember 3 to 4 points of the function. Okay, just remember 3 to 4 points of the function. So I am repeating again, what is the meaning of the forebrain? This is the front and the largest part of the brain, and normally this forebrain consists of the olfactory lobes, diencephalon and cerebrum. They have actually, it has numerous types of the functions. Several functions are there. The first is it is the most important thinking part of the brain, and it has separate area for receiving the sensory impulse. All those emotions, all those actually the stimulus like the hearing, hunger, smell, sight, intelligence, memory, learning, all those things are controlled by the forebrain area. And in the forebrain area, the two parts are there, the two glands are there actually, the hypothalamus and pituitary. These two glands is the most important glands. These two things are the most important glands, the most important endocrine glands, which is secreted the hormone. Next thing is the midbrain. After completing the forebrain, now I am going to discuss the midbrain. So what is the meaning of the midbrain? That is the middle part of the brain. It's the middle part of the brain area. Okay, this is the mid part of the brain. So what is the basic function of the midbrain? That it makes connection between the forebrain and the hindbrain. It makes connection of the forebrain and the hindbrain. Okay, just look at the structure. This green color structure is actually the midbrain. Okay, this green color structure is actually the midbrain. So this is the connecting link between the forebrain and the hindbrain. Okay, so it makes connection between the forebrain and hindbrain. And the next is it's associated with the motor control, vision, hearing, temperature regulation and the alertness. Okay, so this is the basic function of the midbrain. It's associated with the motor control, vision, hearing, temperature regulation and the alternate. So all those motor nerves activity, different kinds of the vision, hearing, temperature regulation, to maintain the homeostasis, all those things are controlled by the midbrain. Next thing is the hindbrain. It's actually the back part of the brain. I am showing the picture again. So this is the hindbrain. This pink color structure is the hindbrain. This is the back part of the brain. Okay, and this is most delicate and important part of the brain. So it's the back part of the brain and consists of medulla, pons varolii and the cerebellum. It consists of the medulla, pons varolii and the cerebellum. And what is the function? That it controls the involuntary action along with the midbrain. It controls the involuntary actions along with the midbrain. Next thing is the blood pressure, heartbeat, sneezing, salivation and vomiting are controlled by medulla. Okay, and the last point is the cerebellum is responsible for the equilibrium, precision of the voluntary actions and maintaining posture and balance of the body. That we can balance our own body by the hindbrain. So if any problems are there in the back portion of the brain, then we cannot control the balance of our body. Okay, so this is the most delicate part of the brain. This is the most important delicate part of the our body also. So they actually, it has several functions are there, like the different kinds of the involuntary actions. What is the meaning of the involuntary actions? Involuntary actions means the which actions you cannot control, which actions are spontaneous. Okay, so these all those kinds of involuntary actions actually controlled by the hindbrain. And different kinds of the thing like the blood pressure, heartbeat, sneezing, salivation, vomiting, all those are controlled by the medulla area. Okay, this medulla is the part of the hindbrain portion, and this cerebellum is responsible for the equilibrium, precision of the voluntary actions, different kinds of the voluntary action, maintaining posture and balance of the body. So this is the function of the hindbrain. Next thing is the protective structure of the brain. Next thing is the protective structure of the brain. So our central nervous system is properly protected to prevent any kinds of the injury. Okay, Why? Because this brain is the most important and complex structure in our body. Okay, so this brain has their own preventing thing. This brain has their own protection, so that this brain actually placed inside a bony box known as the cranium. So this is the cranium. This is the cranium. Okay, so this brain actually placed inside a bony box known as the cranium, which actually inside which the brain is surrounded by a fluid to protect from shock. Okay, so the name of the fluid is the cerebrospinal fluid, CSF. CSF, okay, cerebrospinal fluid. And spinal cord is also placed in the vertebral column. Okay, so this is the vertebral column. This is the vertebral column. So this is the protective structure of the brain and spinal cord. Just look at the structure. This brain structure is important for your exam. So if you cannot draw this structure properly, just mention, after drawing the picture, just mention the forebrain, hindbrain, midbrain properly. Okay. And this is the last slide for today's class, the need of control and coordination in animals. What is the basic needs of control and coordination in animals? Suppose this system is not there in our body, then what will happen? So actually, organism is in direct contact with its environment. So any changes in its surrounding have an influence of its body. Okay, because we all living organism have the direct contact with our own environment, either internal or external. Okay, so if any changes is there in surroundings, then we have an influence on its body. So to maintain the balance between the environmental factors and the body functions, there is a need of such controlling and coordinating system. Okay, I am repeating again, to maintain the balance between the environmental factors and the body functions, so there is a need of such controlling and coordinating system that works for the welfare of the organism. Okay, so to control and to coordinate our all the system, to balance, to maintain the balance, to maintain the homeostasis between the environmental factors and our all the body functions, this control and coordination is very much required, is very much needed in our body. So this is the basic needs that to make actually for the better survival, to maintaining the balance between all the environmental factors and the body function, this system is very much important system in our body. So this is the last slide for you. In our next slide, we will discuss the endocrine system. So already we have completed the nervous system, because there are two systems are there which perform this control and coordination. So already we have completed the nervous system. In our next class, we will start the endocrine system. So from this video, we came to know the structure of the brain, the parts of the brain, the function of the brain, the diagram of the brain, and the function of the control and coordination in the animal's body. So I hope this video will help you a lot for better understanding and easy memorization. So go through this video properly. In our next class, we will discuss a new topic. Thank you. Bye.